Are you insane? Stop attacking immediately.
Till we meet again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in with us for another episode of the Retro Achievements Podcast, where we cover a variety of genres, topics, and discuss the bits and bytes of yesteryear. Today, we're setting our Saturday morning alarm early, pouring a hasty bowl of cereal, and rushing to dial in that channel where all our animated treasures await, on a segment I'm calling As Seen on TV. Throughout the decades since video games became a cultural staple, television has always been right there to jog alongside. After all, with gaming being completely dependent on the latter at the time, games being played on a television, it only makes sense to explore what other alliances could be forged here, games expanded upon by viewing a television. Just like any freshly burgeoning industry that dares pioneer into the unknown, however, there were few paths to success, while many opportunities to fail. For exactly that reason, I'm my guest here today, Max, to dig in on those victories and blunders we've encountered throughout the years. From line animated to live action and everywhere in between. Don't adjust your set, folks. This is Time Crush at the Retro Achievements Podcast with As Seen on TV. Max, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, TC? What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you back. You know, we had you back a couple episodes ago. We touched on how you were doing in the streaming career there. Things are looking good for you. You're still getting a lot of traffic, still leading #1 on the site. Glad to see it, man. I'm hanging in there myself, still kicking along with the podcast, looking to get back to a regular 2-week release schedule. That being said, self-shill. If you have any listener mail, write into retroachievementspodcast@gmail.com and happily read those on air. Get an opportunity to be on the show, and I'm always interested in what people have to hear. Max, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? How you been maintaining #1, man? Talk to me.
I'm busy, just busy. You know, I work full time. I come home. Do I want to stream? Do I not want to stream? Do I just want to lay in the other room, drink a beer, and play a game? You know, it's just, it's wild. It's crazy.
No, I hear you there, man. I hear you there. It's pretty hard to say no to that drink a beer one.
Yeah.
God dang.
A little way ahead of you, buddy. Don't worry.
Yeah, so talk to me. Still #1 on the site. I took a look a little bit before recording at the time, and you still have something like a 40,000 point lead. It's ridiculous. So you're maintaining that without much issue.
You know, it's just picking and choosing your battles, basically. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get stuck for 8 hours doing a 5-point achievement. You know, you want the badge and stuff like that. Of course you want the badge, but, you know, you got to kind of weigh and balance the overall win out of that you get, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You can come back, like all the ones I haven't finished, you know, when I get knocked off and I'm #2, I'll go back and finish those. That sounds like a good time to do that, you know?
Exactly, man. I mean, so what do you actually have on the plate right now? What are you playing? Before we dive into today's topic, let's just get an overview on what you got going on.
I just finished the 4-job Fiesta for Final Fantasy V. That was a blast.
Fantastic.
I think you're doing that as well, correct?
Yes, I rolled White Mage for my first class, so my good first 3 hours is grinding. I've taken a couple bosses down now, but got one boy with a flail, and it's a struggle out there. I do have Soterion coming on to give us a little 15-minute segment, I believe, in this episode, to give us a little rundown about the event for anybody who's unaware.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be something to dive in on. Anybody who's not aware of it, it runs until September, I believe. So stay posted for that in this episode, and you'll hear a little bit more about it.
Absolutely. Join if you haven't already. You know, you got till September 15th, and I had a blast. You know, cranked it out. In fact, actually, you know what's next? I really want to do the regular set, the Final Fantasy V Game Boy Advance set. I kind of avoided it because there's a low-level achievement in it. You know, beat the game at like level 20.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah.
Those are just a struggle.
I had such a good time playing, and I'm like, oh man, you know, I got a Steam Deck in the other room.
It does tickle an itch, and the thing is, I'm a sucker for games with job systems. That being said, we are getting just a twinge off track.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was right there with you. I'm having a good time. What I wanted to have you on for, frankly, and take it as an insult if you want, but I'm right there with you. I feel like you're not one of the older members in the community, but you're one of the older members that I find engageable and that I've engaged with. So, you would have a little bit more history and a little bit more depth to engage on this topic of scale. Do you have a lot of history with these old school game conversions, maybe the 90s and late 80s, or that kind of thing?
You're going to have to speak up, dear Sonny. Oh. No, yeah, I'm one of the older crew, but but I had a wonderful childhood because of exactly what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
I had a great time Saturday morning. Like you said, you started off with Saturday morning, grab a bowl of cereal. You had those little pull out trays that you sit on the living room carpet with.
Yes.
Lucky Charms.
The TV tray. Yes.
Do I look down at the Ninja Turtles tray or do I look up at Super Mario? I don't know. What do I do?
And I'm trying to read the back of the box and oh God, absolutely. It was just another time. You didn't have access to it. If you didn't catch it on the television, there was no YouTube to go turn to. You didn't have an internet to dial in. And
if you missed it on Saturday, you got to ask your friends. And you don't want to hear about it on Monday morning in school. You know what I mean?
No shit. Your friends aren't going to tell the story well. And that being said, some of the ones that, I've had you gather a handful, I've gathered a handful. Some of those ones, they could tell the story to an absolute stellar detail, and it still wouldn't be a good one because some of these shows were just absolute dog shit. I hate to say it.
1000%. Like we were pitching back and forth. It's like, hey, I got a couple of ideas. There were some good ones, there's some bad ones. I'm like, I got a dog shit column, man. I got a dog shit column. But you know what? I also have a column that's a little bit of both. Sometimes the dog shit has a diamond in it.
Dude, there's just a little bit. It's a combination of rose-tinted glasses and a little bit of just like being able to glimpse something from another era. I don't know. That inherently draws something. If it was made today, it would be horribly cringe.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that it's a product of its time, you get to look back at it and have a little bit more appreciation. You get a bit of like, tongue-in-cheek. They didn't know. Look at how sweet they are.
Yeah. It's like, that's adorable. Thanks for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted to dive in on it. We'll kick off the list right after we get back here. One more time, just a self-shill. RetroAchievementsPodcast@gmail.com. Send in that listener mail. You'll get read in on air. Hopefully, like what we have to go off of here. It's going to be as seen on TV.
Boogie.
Farewell for now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Retro Achievements Podcast. We're going to dive in on to our selections here. We have a handful of things, being that we're both about ready to apply for our AARP cards and start collecting pension. We've been around the block enough to catch some shows and see those things on the late 80s, early 90s television programming. Things that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. You certainly weren't subscribing to a cable service or paying for any monthly fee. These were on the antenna, baby. If you didn't catch them in time, you didn't get to watch them. Max, what were some of the early things you caught on the television, man? What were some of those early entries where you were like, oh my god, this is a video game as a cartoon?
I mean, legitimately, let's start with one of the biggest ones. I can go on and on about this show forever, and that is the Super Mario Brothers Super Show with the live action Lou Albano. And Danny Wells, I think, was Luigi from Cheers or something.
Definitely.
Like that, And that was it's kind of in my both category, but I want to lean more towards good. You had the Mario Brothers rap in the beginning, but I remember, you didn't have access to the internet. Like when it came out, like I was like 8 or something like that. And I remember my mom, we were at my grandma's house. My mom tells me and the rest of the Rugrats, hey, come inside, Mario's on TV. We're like, what? Oh, let's go inside, blindly.
Right.
Okay, Mom says Mario's on the TV. And we see the Mario cartoon, and we're like, oh my god, it was mind-blowing at the time. Oh my god, a Mario cartoon.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly why I alluded into the intro. It was definitely one of those eras where the industry was trying to capitalize on periods where they could engage cross-platform. And cross-platform wasn't really a term at the time. Back then it meant cross-industry. So you would have video games working with television. That was cross-industry. It wasn't media. It was cross-industry. Video games were such a new concept that it was a standalone pillar. Mm-hmm. And it was still, how do we fit this into our existing society? How do we fit this into something that can be profitable? So you started to see a lot of spin-off shows from video game media. And this is exactly one of them. And it just so happened to strike your nostalgic fancy. I mean, please go on.
I mean, it was a bizarre blend of the live action segment, and then they would segue into the cartoon, and they'd go to commercial break, and be like, hey, stay tuned for more lasagna loving action, come on back, It was bizarre to watch, and they had special guest celebrities from the 80s. They had Magic Johnson, they had Sergeant Slaughter, Cyndi Lauper. I remember just the lore of Captain Lou. having to shave his legendary beard to play Mario, and that was like a big deal, But he did it because his grandkids loved Mario, and he's like, I'm gonna be Mario. Yeah,
his grandkids actually was the one that got him into that.
Yeah, so the legend goes that he shaved off his iconic beard with the rubber bands, and he's like, I'll be Mario. Whatever.
Oh, wow. So not actually what on my list, but I do want to touch on it just because it reminded me of it, the Street Fighter movie.
Yes.
The gentleman who played M. Bison at the time, and you can tell during the filming, he looked a little frail. He was actually suffering from a form of cancer. And it was only because his children were so into the series that he decided, you know what, I want to be a little bit immortalized in something they like. After I'm gone, they'll be able to remember me in a form of media that they enjoy. I'm going to take this role. And he apparently, it's really heartbreaking. He had to take breaks and go to his trailer and, recover in times like that, a lot of painkillers. And he pretty much suffered through that role just for his children. That's the dedication of a father, and might not have been that great. I'm sure they look at it very fondly.
Raul Julia's final film as M. Bison.
Yes.
I mean, but he stole the show in the entire movie. He was the only good part. For me, it
was a Tuesday.
The iconic line right there, and he does the oh my God, he does the stupid super move at the end of the movie where he's on the wires and he flies across the screen. Of course. Damn, I'm like, all right, I get it. I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there watching an adult. At my friend's house, I'm like, oh my God, I really want to scream and run out of this room right now. This is
So I hope I didn't eliminate one off your list, but that being said, the Super Mario Bros. Show, I actually didn't watch. It was a little bit too early for my time. I was born in 92, and I did catch a lot of reruns, but that was a little bit early. I believe that was made mid-'80s, if I'm not wrong.
Super Mario Bros. Super Show was based mostly off of Super Mario 2, which is funny because that was, oh, hey, guess what? It's Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that,
Did you know?
Yeah, hey, actually, Super Mario 2 is Doki Doki Panic. It was based off of that, so all the enemies are just from that. So it's kind of like a Doki Doki Panic cartoon, actually. Then they did Super Mario 3, and I think by the time you were around, they had Super Mario World, where they had Yoshi come in. That's where the iconic Mama Luigi comes in.
In doing my research for the show, I did see that was something that was released, but I don't know if it ever aired in my area. I feel like I would have been all over that. If I saw that on the programming listing, I would have been, listeners, this is back in a time where you had to check the TV guide. It was something you picked up at a gas station or was mailed to you, and if you didn't have that, you didn't know it was on television. Suck it.
Yeah, and when you were 13 or 14 and you're trying to look through HBO catalog, I'm like, N stands for nudity. Okay, this is gonna be
okay,
good. We're watching
file by N. Yeah. Oh, God, we all had those fucking years where it's like, I think I saw a tit through the static. Yeah. No, I don't think I caught Super Mario. Was it a decent watch? Did you ever catch it?
It was a decent watch, but I remember when it finally came out, when DVD was established, and I remember me and my girlfriend at the time, we stayed inside on a Saturday.
Sure.
We were supposed to be going to a fair later at night, and we drank a whole bottle of SoCo
or
Fireball or something like that.
Cheapo
she wasn't
liquor.
A big drinker, and we stayed in all day, and we watched the entire series. And she's like, "Why does Luigi keep turning red?" I'm like, "I think that's an animation error." I'm like, it's not very good quality. She's like, "Why are there 3 Luigis?"
Oh, Jesus.
Why does he got 4 arms? I'm like, I don't know, sweetheart.
Well, the bottle's fucking 2/3 empty, and that's the cheapest liquor we can find, and that can explain half of it.
The sad part is that she was correct.
Oh, no!
There was so many animation errors. I'm like, why are the 3 Marios on the screen at the same time? Luigi was miscolored red.
Jesus.
And then there was, I can't remember the episode, but he was inside of a giant robot or something, and Mario... They were both outside of it, but Mario's face was still in the chest.
Sure.
He was still inside of it. I'm like,
just leave that cell behind. It's fine. We don't need to animate that.
Come on, man. The best part of the show, the original one, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, when they had the live action things, was they had Captain Lou, as Mario, telling you, hey, don't get in a car with a stranger after the show, if he gives you candy. And he's like, but he did one where it's iconic. He's like, remember, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Holy shit!
Yo, look it up. Look it up. You should put the audio in right now.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
Holy shit, yeah. It's holy shit.
Yeah, it's Captain Lou telling kids they're going to go to hell and then die if they do drugs.
Dude, that was one of those things that, those old cartoons always had, my first mention as well, my first one on the list as well, which I'll segue into it now. It always seemed to end with like a message to children. And I don't know why. Was it a product of the era? Was it like I remember Dare was a big thing. I remember like you had a lot of celebrities who would get in trouble for drugs and they had to do PSAs for a part of their court like regulations. But why did the cartoons jump on the bandwagon? Kids weren't fucking getting hooked on Smack.
Yeah, I was getting hooked on, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was about it at the time.
I was getting fucking hooked on video games. That's why I'm watching your shit. So my first one on the list, and it's literally the first time I ever seen a video game on TV, blew my goddamn mind. In researching for this episode, I didn't realize that it was the precursor to a later release. It is The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes!
Came out in 93. It was the one that had the Hull of the Mountain King intro.
Yes, I loved that show. That is my favorite Sonic cartoon, because it's just like Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes garbage.
It was so slapstick. Absolutely. So I remember being at my grandmother's house. It was during a period where my dad, from the aforementioned in the previous episodes, we beat Carney.
Yeah.
He had a work schedule where he had to drop me off at my Gram's house for a little bit during the week, and I would hang out there. And I remember Sonic came on about a half hour after I showed up at her house. And when In the Hall of the Mountain King started playing through the living room, I ran my little fucking legs off. Like, it was time, man. Grab your snack, fucking sit down in the chair. It's Sonic time. And, oh my god. What I wouldn't find out till absolute years later was a show that my mom liked, Family Matters. I had a character in it. Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Urkel.
Yes. Jaleel White. Urkel,
yeah, Jaleel White. He voiced Sonic in that series. I had no idea until, like, I was probably in my early 20s. This was still in a period where Tails was still brown. Like, he didn't have that golden hue to him.
Yeah, he was not orange at that time. And he was, like, canonically 3 or 4 years old. I'm like,
oh, yeah, dude, he was totally a toddler. Sonic was absolutely obsessed with chili dogs, like, to the utmost extreme. There was no fucking coincidence that I was a fat, pudgy kid. Like, Sonic loves him. Give me some A&W chili dogs.
Yo, anybody who watched that show ate chili dogs afterwards. It made you want chili dogs.
Absolutely. It was free advertising for, like, no specific brand, just in general the food item.
Made a lot of money for Hormel in 1993.
I mean, that being said, I remember Dr. Robotnik's robot companions. One of them was like this little...
Yes, Grounder and Scratch. Scratch was the chicken. I loved them.
Yes.
They were my favorite part.
Absolutely. That was hands down my best part of the show. The reason I tuned in. They were so fucking stupid. But that being said, just every now and then, like once every 5 episodes, they would get into a situation where like they were kind of in the right and Robotnik was being stupid. And like being so young, 1 in every 5 episodes was a big deal. That was a long span of time when you're like 5.
Yeah, it was like an eternity.
Right, so when I would see something like that go down, I'd be like, this is important. This is a big deal. Like, alright, big man in charge is in the wrong. Gotta remember this. But, I don't know. Just one of those shows. The reason it's first on my list is because I encountered it first in my life, and it still holds one of those places. I'm sure if I went back and watched it now, it wouldn't hold up nearly as well, because...
I would love to go. That was a big right before school thing for me in 1993. I think it came on, like my mom would come in, wake me up, get me breakfast. You got like, a half an hour before school.
Oh, yeah.
Watch Gumby and like Sonic come on. And I was all about the Sonic. I thought it was the funniest thing. Whoever voiced Dr. Robotnik in that show, I hope he was paid very well.
I was definitely catching reruns because, like I said, I was probably about 5 years old at the time. But, God damn, what a show. I just enjoyed it. Just like you said, the slapstick humor. It had an almost Tom and Jerry vibe to it.
That's actually in my good list. That one.
Yeah, it's a great fucking time.
I thought it was fun.
So, I mean, what next on the list do you got for us, that being said?
I'm going to save my best one for last. I have like a whole bunch. There's...
Yeah, no, build us up.
You know what, though? I'm not sure if you caught this one either, but Captain and the Game Master, that was such a big deal when I was a little kid.
So I'm doing chronological order from when I encountered them, and that isn't the next one, but it's the third on my list. So once I found the next one, there was a period where I was able to do some research, and I found Captain N. But please, go on, tell us about your experience, because I want to dive in.
It's on my both list. It's a little bit of dog shit and a little bit of good.
Exactly. Oh my god,
it was
yes.
exciting to wake up because the main character, I think the kid's name was Kevin or something.
Yep, Kevin Keene.
And he gets sucked into video game land, and it wasn't just about one video game. It was like every video game ever made.
Oh yeah, Castlevania, Mega Man, Metroid, fucking what was the one with Kid Icarus in it?
Kid Icarus.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, Kid Icarus then, that one.
He was actually the only guy that didn't screw up. Everything else was butchered when they got to it. And
oh my god.
The introduced in the second season Game Boy, because Game Boy just came out that year. I think it was 1990. And Game Boy comes out and he's just like this mutated, pixelated, like E.T. monster. And he comes out and he's like, oh, yes, I will help you out, Captain. And I'm like, okay.
Dude,
all right,
Mega Man made me so fucking sad. To see Mega Man reduced to like this little gremlin dressed in an olive green garb was just disheartening as fuck. That was my boy. They did him so wrong.
Yup. But at the time, I didn't care too much for Mega. I'm a huge Mega Man fan now, but like looking back on it, I'm just like, oh my god. And he was the dumbass cartoon character. You know, the one that has to say his name after he says everything. Mega. I'm like, okay, yo, we get it. We know who you are.
It was fucking terrible.
We saw you, okay? Simon Belmont I thought was great, though. He was not a great adaptation of him, but he was just the narcissist, you know.
It was Johnny Bravo before Johnny Bravo.
Yo, you're not wrong.
100%.
Yeah, that was proto Johnny Bravo.
So one of the things I have in my notes for it is, just in doing the research, I found out that the Captain N, Kevin Keene, was voiced by Matt Hill, who also did Ed, the stupid one, from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
No, really?
Yep, he had a voice in that. He also has some roles in like a dot hack anime. I would say this is probably like the absolute progenitor of like animated video games.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, there was a Dragon's Lair series as well a little bit before this, and doing my research I found.
Yeah, there was. I don't remember who was it.
It didn't live up. It only had a handful of episodes, and it died pretty much on impact. But this being said, this was the first one that got a renewal in season. It was the first one that really went on and got a viewership base. It was actually based off a Nintendo Power magazine article. Some dude who went uncredited in the TV show drew up a comic strip, basically, where Captain Ed had the power to grant life to video game creatures through the power of a mythical cartridge. And this poor fella ended up going uncredited, unpaid, anything in the actual series itself.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But I remember the comic book company Valiant, I believe, they had Mario, they had Captain N, and they had Zelda, and they ran a couple of issues. You could look it up. I think I have one or two of the Mario ones laying around.
No shit.
Yeah, they were actually pretty cool. But it was like an addendum or something, like, you know, like a travel companion to the TV shows and stuff. You know?
Right, a little ride-along type article. For our younger listeners, those things used to be emailed or shipped out by actual USPS if you subscribe to a magazine checkbox, tear-off form. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if you are aware of what those are. God damn it, I'm old. Anyway, go on, Max.
Yeah, let me tell you, Captain N, the Game Master, also has one of the most uncomfortable animated scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot remember the context, but Donkey, if you did a little bit of research and stuff like that. So Videoland had different areas. There was like Mega Man Land. Was they didn't have Mario. He had his own cartoon.
Right.
He had like a Metroid where Mother Brain, the villain, was.
So there was actually Planet Metroid. It was its own segued thing. That's what was weird, is there wasn't a Metroid enemy. It was just a planet named Metroid controlled by Mother Brain, which was this fucking awful... If you guys have ever seen Doctor Who, and you know that character that demands, moisturize me, it kind of looked like that kind of fucking stretched skin thing. Yeah.
It
looked awful, and it just had this terrible, awful voice. Mother Brain will get you, little princess! I won't subject you to that anymore, but fuck.
It was a bizarre I mean, her henchmen were the Eggplant Wizard from Kid Icarus.
Yep.
And King Hippo, who was blue for some reason.
No idea why.
And had very prominent nipples. Extremely prominent
like,
nipples.
Fucking 3-inch nipples.
Like, there's no reason to draw this. Just draw a chest.
They're hot dog nipples. They're maybe not hot dog, but they're at least Vienna sausages. What are you doing?
scene I'm talking about is that there was also Donkey Kong Land
Yep.
that he never really went to because Donkey Kong was considered Godzilla in the cartoon. He was like
the forbidden.
He was like literally a building.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
And I remember, I think it was Simon Belmont went in there, and I don't remember why. He sees Donkey Kong's foot, and he goes over to his foot, grabs his toenail, and rips the toenail upwards. Off. I swear to God, it was I cannot make this up. It like you know, like when you just actually hurt your toenail where it turns black.
Yeah,
it eventually falls off. He forcefully lifted it upwards. And Donkey Kong obviously did not like that too much. There's no blood, but it was just the fact that he lifted his toenail up off of his foot.
Fucking A.
And I remember that to this day. 30 years later, I was like, wow.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
All right.
Well, now that we've scared off half of our listener base with that fucking cringe, holy shit.
Yeah, sorry. You remember, you go to hell before you die.
Well, we got a lot more on our list, guys. We're going to be right back after this, and we'll see you soon.
Changing position. Target acquired. Oh, shit!
Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Retro Achievements Podcast. Sitting down with Suteri on right now. Kicking off one of these more participated events that I've seen recently, more engaged on. It's the Final Fantasy V Job Fiesta. Started way back in, I believe, 2014 with only 484 participants and 122 who have completed the challenge. A game that came out in 1992 is still seeing a lot of life in it. Suteri, tell us about this thing. What's going on now?
Yeah, so this is the first year that we are bringing the famous 4-job Fiesta to Retro Achievements. As you mentioned, this is something that has been going on the internet. There's a guy that started this back in 2014, I think he had said. And this is actually a charity event that he started to get people to play one of his favorite Final Fantasy games, while also raising money for good causes. This year they are raising money for the Trevor Project, which helps out with LGBT youth that are having crises or suicide prevention.
Cool.
Each year they do a different they do a different charity, and we wanted to bring that to the Retro Achievements community by way of a new event.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things that people have latched onto. You're seeing a lot of people engage on it. The channel is absolutely blowing up. I'm sure you're more than busy making these job roles for people. One of the things I wanted to touch on is I noticed the last time they did one of these data dumps, it looks like was 2020. In 2014, they had 484 participants. In 2020, they had 4,804, almost tenfold increase just in that 6-year span. They haven't released the stats for this year. It doesn't actually look like it's something that runs every year, but it has to be more this time around, wouldn't you imagine?
Yeah, I think so. So the official site has gone through a number of changes this year as they tried to get away from using Twitter for their roles. Sure. But the good news with that is that it means that more of it is being centralized to the site, and they have more control over handling the roles and things like that. So basically, what the 4-job Fiesta is everybody
give
gets
us a little overview.
Yeah, so everybody gets to play through Final Fantasy V, and Final Fantasy V is kind of one of the early ones that had access to a bunch of different jobs. So you have 4 players, but there's 20 plus different jobs that you can play as. And the point of this challenge is that you only get to use 4 of the jobs. And what makes it worse is you are randomly assigned 4 of those jobs that you need to play through the game with. So it's kind of a way to for people that have played it time and time again. It was a challenge to kind of get them to try to play it in a different way with using new strategies based on randomization. And even though this is something that seems like it would be primarily geared towards veterans of the game, this is actually a great way to play the game for the first time, even because it eliminates some of the decision paralysis that a lot of people have with RPGs that open up and have a whole bunch of different jobs and stuff like that. By restricting you to only 4 jobs and 4 jobs that you are given, it allows you to go through, enjoy the story, enjoy the challenge, and just have a lot of fun, even if this is the first time that you're playing the game.
So that is a perfect kickoff to what I was going to touch on, because this is my first time playing the game. I'm participating in the event myself. I have not played Final Fantasy V before, but I am a sucker for job systems. I love that kind of thing. Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics A2 on the DS. Oh my god, I love you. Those kind of games that really just let you kind of choose your own adventure, so to speak, really appeal to me. But when I saw all the participation happening in this event, I had to jump in on it. Like I said, it's my first time with Final Fantasy. And wouldn't you know it, what's the class I roll first there, Saterion?
I'm trying to remember what it was. We've had so many participants already.
No, you're all right. I'm not just guess which is the most uphill battle to roll.
Oh, I'm gonna guess it's a white mage. Is that right?
It's a fucking white mage. Yeah. So I rolled white mage. I'm still having fun with it. That's the thing. The good thing about this event, for correct me if I'm wrong, it runs for a few months, correct?
That's right. So we are only about the first month into it, and already we've had over 200 people sign up for it, and almost we're getting close to almost 100 people having finished it at this point, which beautiful. Goes to show that even though we're only 1 month into it, and we've had I think we're up to like 87 people that have beaten it, there is still plenty of time to get back into this game, even if you're brand new to the series, or if you love Final Fantasy V and want to come try it out. There is plenty of time to do this, and I'd really encourage everybody to come in and check it out.
Absolutely, and speaking as a first-time participant in Final Fantasy V alone, don't be worried about the barrier to entry. There practically is none. One of the reasons that I brought up that it's running for a few months is that, being that I got dealt white mage, that's an uphill battle, but guess what I can do? I can grind. Mm-hmm. I can sit there, I can fast forward some battles, I can heal my boys up in the tents. Everything's good to go, we're kosher, we're ready for that next boss battle. Also, you said how many completed it real quick?
We have 87 people that have beat the game so far. There's also a upgraded badge that you can get if you beat the 2 super bosses in there, and we have about 70 people that have done that as well so far.
Okay, so we got 80 completion, 70 greasy boys, and how many participants?
We're up to 200, over 200 so far.
All right, 200 participants. I want to illustrate that only 4,800 people participated in the 2020 event. That means we are bringing no small part and parcel of the actual participatory class and community that is coming together to run this thing. RA is a Ooh, we are stumbling today, boys. A heavy participation factor.
Yeah.
In the like Final Fantasy V job Fiesta run.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that kind of we're trying our best to tie into that is that the event staff, you can reach out in Discord or on the forums. We'll be happy to provide a role for you there. But if you want to go on to the official site and get your roles from there, we're supporting that too. So go on to the forjobfiesta.com or come into Discord or the forums and request a role there, and we'd be happy to get you started.
Absolutely, and I've seen you guys be more than responsive, and even with a little bit of like role play flavor text added onto it, it makes the cake. It's fantastic. That being said, I am curious, Saterion, what is your dream job lineup?
Oh, that is a good question. So there's been a lot of discussion about what kind of the best items are out there, the best jobs that you could get. But I think my personal dream one would be to start off with Blue Mage in the wind job. That would be...
All right.
That opens up a lot of versatility, and I just love playing Blue Mages. It's what I played in Final Fantasy XI. I like the idea of going out and getting monster skills and stuff like that. Now, in my first run, I got Berserker for my water job, and that is absolutely not what you want to get. But my dream for there would be Summoner. I've always had a soft spot for Summoners. It's what I played in Final Fantasy XIV, and would love to get that. I didn't get it in either of the 2 runs that I did this year, but I'm hoping next year we might get that.
I mean, honestly, at this point, man, I'm just hoping I don't roll Berserker for the next crystal. I hear that's practically GG.
Yep, it's a tough time, but that's what I got, and hey, I managed to at least beat the game, and that's probably something that's important to note too, is that all of these jobs, no matter what you get, I think I got probably one of the worst starting roles for my first run, but I was still able to beat the game with it. And so
All right.
no matter how bad you get, you may not be able to beat the super bosses, but you will be able to beat the game.
All right, so there is at least a badge on the menu for you, pretty much regardless of the job you earn, if you decide to see it through.
That's right.
All right.
So then getting over to the fire job, probably would have to go for Bard for that one. Again, kind of offers a lot of utility. I love buffing classes in there. And so would love to see that.
I'm seeing a trend. Blue Mage, Bard. Yeah, I'm seeing a trend.
Yeah. And then the last one, normally I would say to go for Chemist, because that is one of the most powerful ones. If you have a chart that can show you, what you should be mixing for that. But I think what I would love to actually get in a role sometime would be Dancer. It's one that I've never really played with before, and I'd love to be forced into learning the ins and outs of it through the event.
I think Dancer would result in a good challenge run for people who have experienced the game before. But Chemist is definitely I just want to beat the super bosses and I have no idea what I'm doing class.
Exactly.
Yes, 100%. That being said, Satarian, you've had fantastic participation in this so far. I hope to bring some more contenders to the ring. It's a great cause. We're contributing to LGBTQ causes, kids who are in distress, people that just need some help. Are there any other, kind of final thoughts that you want to wrap this up on? Any things that you want to send home with people? What is the good cause of this? What are your thoughts on it? Why did you kick this off? Give me that final send off.
Yeah. So the thing I want to mention is that as part of, because this is a charity event, one of the things that we're doing is I've pledged to have $1 donated for everybody that beats the final boss in here. So we're up to 87 so far, and Maximilian, who's a regular on the podcast as well. He also, when he was going through this on his stream, he also pledged $1 to basically match what I've been doing, what I've offered there. So if anybody wants to make similar pledges, we'd love to have you there. But even if you're just looking to participate, beat that boss, get that extra dollar added to the pot, and we'll be donating that on behalf of the RA community.
I mean, absolute kudos to the both of you guys. That is one hell of an awesome cause and contribution. At the end of the day, a lot of these things are a community effort, and we all work our 9 to 5 or, make our living however we can. And being able to put real money towards an effort like this speaks a lot to the development of your character. So I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for that. That's very impressive, and I hope to see more people like that in the community, like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It really, this is something that the community has really shown a lot of interest in, and I hope that this year is just the start of this whole thing, and that we might even see greater things coming next year.
Fantastic. Well, you heard it here, guys. Get your ass in that Final Fantasy Fiesta job channel. We've got roles for you. We've got job assignments. Beat those bosses. Beat the super bosses. Get Chemist because it's the only way how. And we will see you next time. Glad to have you on, Soteria.
Thanks so much.
All right, just jumping back into it, guys. One of the things I'm jumping in next on my list, Max Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. So, absolute zeitgeist of cultural entertainment. So many memes in this show. So many, things hold up through the ages just with the references alone. Are you familiar?
Yeah, the whole show had just so many memes surrounding it. We had the Guts Man's ass.
Kung Fu Cut
Man. The one part where it's Pharaoh Man just punches Mega Man in the face for no reason, but he doesn't say anything.
Dude, just absolutely fucking staunching him. Absolutely no power usage. Just fucking, what if I just haymakered you instead?
And it worked. It knocked him the fuck out.
Hands down, dude. I mean, sometimes just might makes right.
My whole concern with a lot of what happens in the cartoon as opposed to the... and I need to ask you right now, which is better? Because they created Roll and Mega Man as adults in the cartoon, and then Dr. Light created children versions of them
in the video game.
In the video game, but in the cartoon, Dr. Light thinks it's completely necessary to build a cleaning robot that's a blonde stack chick.
So, I don't want to think about what happens behind closed doors with Roll and Dr. Light, but I think this might have just been a fucking product of their time. if you look at like Gem of the Holograms, if you look like Josie and the Pussycats, if you look at like those things that were a few years prior to this,
Thundercats with Chitara and stuff.
absolutely.
I'm like, why is she hot? What? I'm
Just yeah, there just seemed to be like a default woman caricature outline, and it was like tits, ass, thin waist, go.
Remember Ghostbusters, the cartoon?
My god!
Why do they have to make Janine so hot?
Oh my god!
I'm 5. I don't need this shit in my
What
life
am I
right
feeling? What am I feeling?
Knock it off. And Egon's like, well, it's highly unscientific to have
Exactly.
And I'm like, no, well,
No, it feels pretty scientific right now.
yeah, I'm 5 and I understand this is what you're supposed to be doing.
I mean, so obviously you have some experience with Mega Man there. You dipped into it a little bit. Was it something you like gave a shit too much about? Did it influence your like want to play games later on in life? Did you have any RA experience with Mega Man? Like, what's that looking like?
I was already a huge fan of Mega Man by the time it came out. That's why I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch it. But I was kind of like, here it is. Yay. That's just part and parcel. I'm like, okay that it exists. It actually falls in my dog shit category.
No!
But in a loving way. It's in a loving way.
I mean, it's fair. Like I said earlier, I don't know if it would hold up if listeners went back and watched it. It's one of those things where I enjoy it because it's a product of its time that I got to witness, Even if it was a few years with reruns, those few years didn't have a lot of advancements in between.
You know what? You know what's weird about the show? That Proto Man is definitively the most slimy person in the show. Like,
he's a douchebag.
Super evil.
Proto Man is definitively my favorite character in the Mega Man series.
Yeah, he's
But
great.
in the cartoon, he's nothing but a fucking cock.
He's like the definitive coward of the show. He's like, he's the liquid snake in the show. And Mega Man Solid Snake. He comes out and he's like, oh, brother, looks like we got the jump on you.
Dude, it's fucking terrible.
Great show, though.
I mean, so that's what I've got next on my list was Mega Man. It was one of those things, again, Grandma's house. I was catching Sonic. I was catching Mega Man. I was eating chili dogs. I was getting an upset stomach because I was eating chili dogs. What do we got next on your list, man?
I actually want to talk about some things that were kind of good.
Hold on. Actually, before I ask that, I'm going in the order that I kind of encountered the series in.
Okay.
What are we navigating your list in? Is it just fucking grab bag? Do we have any rhyme or reason to it? What are we looking at?
It's very grab bags. I have my lists here, and I'm just kind of like riffing with what I think is like. I had Sonic on my both list, even though I consider it pretty good.
Sure.
Actually, now I got a great segue right now.
Uh-oh.
What I would consider dog shit, and everybody's gonna hate me in the audience for this. Is like Sonic led into the Sonic Saturday Morning cartoon, which was unnecessarily graphic and dark for a cartoon show about animals. I didn't understand it. It was so bizarre to me.
What is it?
It's called Sonic Saturday Morning, Sonic the Hedgehog, the series, because they both ran together. The one we were talking about earlier, and it was the one that was on Saturday mornings with the princess and there was like a bunch of other characters, and probably Orange Tails.
Like King Acorn was played by Tim Curry, I think.
And it was super, like, angsty and bizarre to me. Like,
Dude,
I'm like,
I did not like that. I wanted the In the Hall of the Mountain King one.
Thank you. That's the one I like. Everybody else is like, Sonic Saturday AM was the best cartoon ever. I'm like, no!
I wanted some fun in my Sonic. He was a little shit, man. He was a little fucking troublemaker.
I want the Looney Tunes crap. I want the chili dogs. I want the fun. I want the vibrant colors. You're turning us into the days of our lives with Sonic. I'm like,
no shit.
Excuse me, this is a cartoon hedgehog animal. I cannot take this seriously with a dramatic premise.
Do you recall when blue and yellow checkerboards were like a staple of Sonic iconography?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was the early Sonic cartoon. Like, that was in the Hall of the Mountain King Sonic, not this fucking sad depresso shit.
And it was great, because it was a cartoon. It let it be a cartoon. It let Sonic be Sonic. When Sonic was voiced by Jaleel White, we were talking about it. I'm going to harp on it again. It was exactly what I wanted a Sonic cartoon to be. He's running fast. He's goofing around. He's fucking ruining Robotnik's life. He's these evil, dumb henchmen. I'm like, this is what I want.
Absolutely.
The other one's like, my grandfather was destroyed and killed and turned into a robot. I'm like,
whoa.
Excuse me, no. I'm 8. I don't want to.
This is not what I signed up
I did not sign up for this, but people are just like, yeah, it's the definitive version of Sonic, and it's the actual contextual lore.
People
like,
want
what?
shit to have like way more meaning than it needs and gravitas and shit.
They're
It's like,
cartoon animals!
exactly. Do you
Animals!
understand? It's a fucking blue hedgehog that goes zoom.
Now, picture they did the same thing with Mario. I would hate Mario at this point if they
Oh
did
my
that.
god! If they were like, Luigi, I need medicine from the Mushroom Kingdom, and I have to journey through these worlds. It would be the fucking worst thing ever.
Yeah, we just want Mama Luigi. We want chili dogs.
Mama Luigi.
It's a cartoon. Come on. We're impressionable children. You don't need to tell us that the entire forest of animals is about to be murdered and turned into robot beings to serve Robotnik. I'm like, yeah, okay.
So that's on your dog shit list. And frankly, if it's going to bring us down that much, it fucking frankly deserves to be there.
A lot of people think it's like the best, and they're just like, oh, the Sonic, the one that we like, that was just dosh. It was trash. It was, noise and music. I'm like, oh yeah, it was wonderful. I loved it.
No, man. Our Sonic cartoon, the early one, was a fucking great time.
Yeah. Remember in the intro when he rips his mustache off and writes his name with it?
Yes, dude!
That's the best part! I'm like, who fucking drew this? This is great!
It's fucking fun! It's fun! It knows what it's trying to be, and it embraces it. The Sonic cartoon that tried to be serious had to invent so much plot that was beyond itself, that it stood beyond the games, it stood beyond the comics, it was just this weird fucking, I don't know, amalgamation
We don't need death in a Saturday morning cartoon. I'm sorry.
No, I did not wake up early to fucking be down. I'm having some chocolate milk and Fruity Pebbles. Fuck off.
I'm like, I can't finish my Count Chocula. I can't finish my Count Chocula when you tell me the rabbit is being destroyed and turned into a robot. I just don't want it.
Mom, I feel ways. So, alright, if we're gonna do dog shit, I've got dog shit on my list as well.
Give me your dog shit. Show me your dog shit.
We're stepping into live action territory on this one.
Oh, it's definitely dog shit.
Oh, it's very big dog shit. What's crazy is it got several seasons. So I don't know who was watching this dog shit, but somebody was. The sad thing is it ran, like I said, for several seasons. Produced by George Lucas, created by George Lucas, produced by Eugene Levy. You might remember him from American Pie as the dad. Yeah, exactly. Maniac Mansion.
No shit. No. I know that existed. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, so it got a series, believe it or not, and I didn't find it until, years down the line. This was far past, like I said, I'm doing this in release of how I encountered them. So it was years after I came across Sonic, Mega Man, Captain N. This was down the lines when I had access to the internet, and I wanted to do my own kind of research on just this very topic, far before the podcast was ever an idea, far before I was a community member on RA. I was still living at my parents' house, in fact. But I decided to watch a few episodes of this, and boy fucking howdy do I wish I hadn't. Oh my god, I'll never get it back, my friend. So, it might have ran for a few seasons, but as I alluded to, I don't know who the fuck was watching it. Are you familiar with Nielsen ratings?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a box, for anybody who's listening, you every now and then will get an opportunity to sign up with what's called a Nielsen rating system. I don't know if it's going anymore now with streaming services. I'm sure they have some kind of adaptive system. Previously, you would install it to your coaxial cable. It would monitor what cable channels you're watching. You would get some kind of monthly dividend, and it would basically be like Google surveys back in the day, and you would get like $50 a month or whatever. It was how television ratings were concluded and informed back in the day. That being said, who the fuck was watching Maniac Mansion? It was the most ham-fisted, over-the-top. These people did not know how to act. Nobody in the show, nobody at all, was of even a C-list celebrity. They had meta episodes no sooner than episode 3 that were already self-referential in thinking that they were full of themselves. It was a crash and burn on impact, but goddamn it just burned and burned and burned.
It makes me wonder who made a game based off of it.
I think the game came first, thankfully.
Did it?
Yeah, no, I do think the game came first. Thank fucking God, because, if anybody decided to make a game off this TV series, you were fucking up. God damn. You were throwing money into a fireplace. But no, I'm pretty sure the game came first. And Maniac Mansion as a game was a cult classic, if I'm not misremembering this.
Absolutely. If you have not played it yet, it's definitely... I owned it as a kid for Nintendo, and that was one of the reasons to have Nintendo Power, because it was very cryptic. But we all microwaved that hamster at some point. We did. We all did.
It was one of those games that had just a shit ton of replay value because of the era. You had no internet, you had no game facts, you had nothing of this sort. You had to figure it out through trial and error, and goddamn, was there a lot of trial. But yeah, somebody decided, what if this made a good TV show? But they forgot that adjective, good.
Yeah, they just threw that in the well first, you know?
Yeah, it just made a TV show, and it was pretty fucking bad. Do you have any experience with this one?
I've never seen it. I know it exists. I'm very actually upset. I'm probably, when we sign off of here, I'm probably going to watch one and regret it immediately.
Buddy, you can't get those 25 minutes back.
I will sacrifice those 25 minutes, and when I stand at the pearly gates in heaven, the horn of Gabriel will play, and God himself will look upon me and be like, yo, man, like, I could send you back for 25 minutes.
It's all right, yeah.
I owe you that, man. You know,
you really fucked up on this one. I'll give it to you.
Go back, go ham, you know, rob a bank, do whatever you want. You know, you got 25
Do
minutes.
something. Yeah, so it's one of those shows that just, honestly, man, you're not missing much. By all means, maybe give it a couple minutes click through, but I fucking challenge
It'll
you.
be one of those videos that you, okay, this is, like when somebody says, hey, you gotta watch this, you know, even if it's funny, and you're just like, yeah, okay, skip 10
That's what I'm
minutes
saying.
ahead. Skip 10 minutes ahead.
Exactly. You're going to give it like a cumulative 4 minutes, and that's fine. You'll understand everything it has to offer. But that's exactly why it's on my dog shit list.
I'll give it the old Pornhub skim.
Yeah, yes,
Right,
yeah.
10 minutes ahead,
Most
10 minutes
watched
ahead.
segment.
No, that's the guy. Go back to the
Yes. All right, man. So, yeah, I wanted to follow dog shit with dog shit. What do you got next for us, though, man?
I'm actually going to talk about some good stuff.
Okay.
This falls in the category of if it's for you or if it's not, but it's nostalgia buzz for me. Did you know that there is a video game show? And I'm not talking about, you know, like the ones like Video Arcade, like on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. I'm talking about the game show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, featuring Rockapella. Oh my goodness, that was the most fun.
Okay,
right?
no, I have not heard of this. Obviously, I've heard of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
There was a game show for 3 kids, you know, like just like anything else, like Guts or, you know.
Yeah.
And they have the kids come on, and they're like, listen up, gumshoes. And there's this woman who's like the judge. She's like, you need to go out there and find the clues. And they had all the animated, you know, like the terrible animated things over the screen that the contestants couldn't even see. You know, like
What kind of era was this, if I could?
This was early 90s, I want to say.
We're just getting
Probably around the same era.
where we think we have like some legs to run on with computer graphics, you know.
But this is definitely based on the computer game Carmen Sandiego, and they had this music group called Rockapella, and they would come out like, "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?" Every time.
Hell yeah!
It was so good. I'm like, okay, cool, and like they did this whole doo-wop. They were like a doo-wop acapella thing, and like they just sang the whole theme song, the entire show, and whatnot. And they had these kids come out there, and like. They're like, okay, and they would ask him the simple questions like, Carmen Sandiego is seeing if she can get some enchiladas. Where might she be headed? And somebody would be like, Mexico. And he's like, yes, that's correct, you know. And then he would come in, doo-wop, doop-doo-wop, going to Mexico, doo-wop. You know, it was cheesy as hell, but that was what it was normal back in the day, you know. Dude. Family Double Dare or something like that. It was like that.
So at the time, it was one of those things where like that slapstick was in. It was the norm. It was funny. Like it wasn't oversaturated to the point where you got sick of it yet. You know, it was still engaging. And when you saw that kind of like self-aware humor where these doo-wop guys were fucking doo-wopping, it's funny.
And you would find a clue, and the guys would be like, "Woo-wah!" Singing it. So it was classic. You know, honestly, the more I talk about it, I think back on it, I'm like, wow, that was great. That was so bizarre. But the kids would one kid would win, obviously, and they'd be like, now you have the opportunity to catch Carmen Sandiego, and they would give them a world map of a continent, and you'd have to place flags on find Nigeria. Like they'd put the flag on the thing and it would light up. It was correct. But I mean, Holy shit. I mean, like, some kids got North America, and it was the easiest shit in the world, and then you give some poor schmuck kid Europe. I'm like, find Luxembourg. I'm like, this kid ain't winning. No, this is like
no.
the purple parrots of fucking Legends of the Hidden Temple. You don't win.
So
you never win when you're a purple parrot. Fuck that. Yeah.
So I don't know if it was something. I believe it was a national airing, but it was a news segment that came on at 7 a.m. EST, where I'm from, called The Today Show. Are you familiar?
Yes.
Okay, so they used to have a segment called Where in the World is Matt Lauer? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
So that was something I was totally engaged with just because of the Carmen Sandiego series. I used to be so fucking, like, I didn't give a shit about the news. I was a kid. What fucking kid gives a shit about the news? If you do and you're a child, god damn it, get your stuff together and start having fun. But whenever that segment came on, I was like, all right, let's get our fucking geography on. Let's sit down and figure out what we know, buddy.
You gotta check out the show then. It's actually, like, really fun to, like, think about, like, that it existed. And there's nothing ever been since like that. Definitely check out, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It's so good.
I feel like there's a lot of staples from that old world media era that really would hold up.
Don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where they don't make them like they used to, but, like, where our previous generation would say they don't make them like they used to and they would have to stop, I feel like we get to say that, and ours would still hold up. There's a lot that we have to offer.
Sure.
There's a lot of meat on the bone for things that are still out there that, can be developed on. I think that offerings are still available for the things that we experience, but we're not really tapping into them. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Where's my God of War series? Come on, what's going on?
I mean, that's being made, man. What the fuck?
Is it really?
What are you talking about? That's
I really
one of the.
don't know. I really didn't know that.
That's like a huge Game of the Year contender. It was a big fucking. Oh yeah, man. God of War is going on and it's huge.
I've been off of Twitter for 3 days and I just realized that there's a submarine exploding and that we're getting Super Mario RPG like remade. And I'm like, woo. Well, not about the submarine. Not that was sad.
From great lows to great highs, man.
It was a whirlwind when I logged in this morning.
We've got billionaires being crushed and fucking, billionaires being made at Nintendo.
And if you think about it on a fucking very small tangent right now, thank you, Nintendo, for doing the right thing and remaking that game beautifully.
So, not to get too lost in the woods, but you heard that they piloted that thing with a Logitech controller, correct?
Yes. There's
what
so
are you
many
doing?
memes. The memes are so bad. He's like, when you get mad and you throw the controller at the wall, everybody else on the sub freaking out. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. It's not funny.
Dude, what are you doing? Okay, so I can't imagine that motherfucker was cheap. Okay. Like, you're building reinforced walls, and, there's the logistics involved with, like, how it's supposed to be engineered, oxygen, engineering, engines, all that shit.
I just wouldn't do it.
No. Yeah, I'm not getting in that bitch to save my fucking mother's life. I'm sorry.
No.
But what I'm saying is, if you've spent all this goddamn money on it, why are you only spending $35 on your fucking steering wheel? Like, you already are in, like, $1.5 billion. Just spend some good goddamn money on the steering wheel. All right, anyway.
No, we're gonna get the animated series on that. It's on Netflix. Trust me, we're gonna get that in like a year, guarantee you.
As soon as we get an RA set on the submarine next to the Titanic, I'll eat my fucking hat.
It'll be right next to the Cuphead show, which is also a great adaptation.
Until then, guys, we'll be right back. We still got a lot more on the list. We'll see you soon.
I'm calling the cops.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Retro Achievements Podcast. One more time, retroachievementspodcast@gmail.com for all that listener mail. Last we left off, we were talking about Maniac Mansion, created by George Lucas, produced by Eugene Levy of the American Pie series, and so much more. That was kind of on my dog shit series list, just because, God, it was so awful, but it managed to get a handful of seasons.
How did it fail? How did it fail with that?
Honestly, it failed probably just because of product of its time. It just aged out. How much meat on the bone is there for Maniac Mansion? Let's be real.
Not much, I guess. You're right.
So I'm starting to work into like my positive entries. I believe we still have a couple of more like semi-good, semi-bad ones on your list before we start getting into
I'm
dog
just gonna
shit.
hop in. It's gonna be tail-ended by the Super Mario Bros. Super Show because it was a part of it, and it only aired on Fridays.
Ooh.
Who's with me? Who's with me? Who remembers what I'm talking about? Who's old enough and everything like that? So the Super Mario Bros. Super Show always advertised the rest of the week. Like, it was almost like the show shot itself in the foot by telling you that the Super Mario Bros. Show was dog shit and to tune in on Friday alone. But Fridays was Legend of Zelda Day. Oh my goodness.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The Legend of Zelda with,
excuse me, Max.
Excuse me, fucking teasing. I want to let you guys know that this was a I'm going to use it. Enjoyable romp for what it was.
Oh, gee.
It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was not, it's in my both category. I want to kind of put it in like its own category of itself. And I want TC to fucking stop me if I'm getting out of hand here. But it kind of makes Link a super sexual predator.
What?
Every time Link is on the screen with the Princess Zelda, he is forcing a kiss upon her. He is trying to molest her. I can't remember the episode, but Princess Zelda is waking up in her bed, in her private chambers, by the way, because she's a fucking princess. And Link comes in, and he sees Zelda sprawled out over her bed, and he says, "Oh, right, smooching time." And he runs at her and jumps at her and starts trying to make out with her. And the princess obviously dodges out of the way. Keep in mind, there's, out of the entire series, maybe 1 or 2 times that the princess wants to kiss Link for rescuing him.
No!
She has no, like, decision in this. It's kind of just like, Link has done enough to earn a kiss by defeating Ganon, and it has nothing to do with her wanting to kiss him at all. Like, he just kind of gets it. So I'm like, wow, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, holy shit. Okay, yeah.
When she doesn't give him the kiss, what do you think he says?
Yeah, well, excuse me, Princess.
Excuse me, Princess.
Excuse me, I'm just trying to get my fucking rape on, Princess. Jesus.
He also has a fairy with him. I can't remember. I think her name's Sprite. Like, I literally, like, you know, like just the Sprite. And she is a young little lady fairy, and she wants to jump Link's bones the entire time and gets pissed off every time Link wants to have sex with Zelda.
Dude, what? Okay, so
it's an abusive circle. It's an abusive triangle. I have no idea.
It's an abusive Triforce. That was a product of...
Alright, stop. Alright. I collected that. Alright. Alright. That was good.
I feel like that was a product of the 90s 100% through and through. Every single fucking show, animated series, movie seemed to have that need to, like, have this weird sexual fucking tension. And if there wasn't an opportunity for that sexual tension, it would be engineered in the form of, like, sexual predatory nature.
It was absolutely forced. I'm like, Link's entire reasoning for saving Princess Zelda was to jump her bones. You know what I mean?
Right!
Every time there's literally a scene where he catches her after she falls out of a building, and he looks at her, he's like, "Oh, gotcha, princess." He's like, "Kiss me." And she's like,
see,
yeah.
Like, it was just a product of the fucking time, man. I don't know. It was just, would you agree that it seemed like that was not just this Zelda cartoon? That seemed to be fucking everything.
No, it was kind of an influential thing back in the day, the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. You know, beautiful woman, the main character obviously wants to get close to her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's no dynamic between the characters besides romanticism, which is not true, you know what I mean?
But it was used as a MacGuffin.
Correct.
100% through and through. Yeah.
I think it worked out well for the cartoon. It was horrible that it did, but at the same time, it moved the story along. Because Ganon wants to kidnap the princess.
Yep.
Link wants to fucking save the princess to get a kiss, and the princess does not want to get kissed by Link.
It works.
It worked every episode, trust me. One time she's just like, "Yeah, I'll kiss you," and then something else happens. He falls through a trap door or something like that. It doesn't happen.
So did you have a lot of experience watching this show? This wasn't actually something I caught a lot on syndicated television. I did catch some YouTube clips here and there just because it's so fucking infamous.
It was part of the Mario Brothers Super Show, the live action one. There was no live action Link. It's funny because they only showed the Zelda episodes on Friday, which I've never seen another show do, you know what I mean? Because Monday through Thursday was all Mario Brothers episodes, but it's like, stay tuned on Friday for a Legend of Zelda episode, but it was still the Mario Brothers. So I'm like, oh, how did
Okay.
I'm like, aren't you guys plumbers, like, in Brooklyn? Like, how do you know about Zelda?
Nintendo Power Hour?
Yeah, and they just ran with that. And it kind of worked out because they only had, 12 Zelda episodes. So, you had, 12 weeks of that.
Yeah, really short-running series from what I recall.
I mean, there was nothing super offensive about the show besides, Link totally won.
No, and I mean, at the time, that was so fucking mild. Like, you gotta remember, at the time of airing and the time of creation, that was, pale. That was pale as hell.
It was just like, oh, pretty girl, main character wants to make out with her and gets rejected constantly. That was the comedy back then,
And, the main character is a dope,
Yo, he was the most incompetent Link I've ever seen. But, but sometimes, somehow, did insane tricks,
Dude, somebody linked it in the RA podcast channel just the other day. It was the progenitor of the bomb jump, where he throws the bomb under the shield and skips off on his, soars over the treetops.
I will say that what you would love about watching the old episodes, they used all the sound effects ad verbatim from the game.
No shit.
So, when they blew up a monster, it'd be like, brrr.
That is awesome. Okay.
Brrr.
I would be very into that.
I'm not doing it justice.
No, I mean, your rendition of...
they pick up a key, it's like...
Your renditions are perfect. Yeah, the brr and the do sells it 100%. No, that's awesome, though. No, that is definitely something I'd be fucking hooked on.
That's still in my both category. I think it's dog shit, but it's still, I love it. You know what I mean?
I mean, give it a watch if you've got nothing else going on. Maybe a second monitor.
Give it a watch. It's good.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
I'm starting to lean into more recent releases and things that are positive. There was definitely a resurgence of video game adaptations where things started to be kicked off in more of a positive light. Things that were done well and handled by, I would argue, creators that played the games themselves, so they had a little bit more of a handle on how to lead the series. As previously described, I'm describing these in order that I encountered them. So I'm kicking it off with 2017's Castlevania.
Yes!
Dude.
Okay, I'm glad you picked it up because I did not want to make another positive entry because it's in my good.
Yes.
It's in my good.
Absolutely. I mean, the iconic scene where fucking Trevor comes in and starts throwing the dukes on Dracula and he just turns around like it's nothing and throws that line out, "You must be the Belmont." Just taking fucking fists to the face like it's nothing. Chokes out Trevor, punches him in the fucking gut. My God.
There's the whole episode in the second season, right? Or is the end of the first season? I can't remember. No, it's the end. Is in the second season where it's just the whole fight against Dracula or something like that.
Yeah, and they finally slay him. But it's one of those things where it's just that whole series was handled with the utmost care. One of the seasons was adapted after the third entry in the series, so it was very psychedelic. It was very metaphysical. That was the one where they started traveling through the astral plane. I can't think of the name for it right now. But
Dracula's Curse is the third entry. That's basically the basis of the first two entries, I think, and then it goes into Dracula's Curse on PS2, I think, was the third. And
Lemon's Innocence?
Lemon of Innocence, I think, was the one that had Leon.
There's Shadow of Darkness or something as well.
He was the first Belmont. I think they touch on that. Curse of Darkness, I think. Yeah, and that takes place 5 years after Castlevania 3, I think.
Gotcha.
And they did a great job with it. You know what's funny is that everybody hates the third season. I thought that was the best one, where he's in the village. I thought that was the best season, with the village with the corrupt priest and the mad monks and stuff like that.
What was the mystic's name? I can't think of it right now. He was the mystic. In Curse of Darkness, he would wear a red circus coat.
Saint
Germain. Germain. Yes.
And when he says, it's toilet paper, they have it in China, that's my favorite line ever. It's my favorite fucking line in the world. I fucking put it on Twitter, years ago when it came out.
Fantastic.
I mean, Saint Germain, yeah, it's called toilet paper. It came out in China. What the fuck is toilet paper?
The whole series, though, through and through, I didn't have a single episode, I think, where I dragged in, didn't hold my attention. And I'm definitely biased just because I love the series through and through. It's something I grew up on.
It's funny because the first season I wasn't sold on because it was only...
No shit.
It was 4 episodes, and I thought they did it great. But I was like, all right, where do you go to next? And then they launch a full season afterwards, like 12 episodes. And I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Here's where we go.
I'm good. Because the whole first season ended with, I'm like, don't do this. And it's like Trevor versus Alucard, like, exchanging quips. I'm like, yo, don't do this douchebag shit. Don't do
Neither one of my boys need to die.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do this, like, fucking stupid, like, oh yeah, well, I showed you. But then they do it again in the second season where they're just like, fuck you, eat shit. And I'm like, all right, that's good. I like that. That's funny.
Like, when it's a little more ham-fisted like that and self-aware, definitely.
You gotta ham-fisted. I don't need edginess added to it. It needs to be ham-fisted, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, fuck you. Okay. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, great.
The third season was adapted actually off the third game, like I said, so it got a little bit more psychedelic. One of the things that wasn't introduced, and I kept an eye out for the entire time, and I really hope they touch on it sometimes. So, you've played the third game, I assume.
Yes, absolutely. I love that one. It's one of the best ones.
Yeah. So that was my first Castlevania experience. I was gifted a NES, just like hand-me-down, whatever, a family member didn't want it anymore.
You started at the best point.
Oh, I know. I was spoiled. Absolutely. I was screwed. I was like, Castlevania's the best series ever. Let's try 2. Uh-oh.
No.
Yeah. Either way, the third season was based off that one, and you know about the adopting team members. Obviously, you know Sypha, and she's the blue person you adopt in that. Of course, Alucard is a fucking savior.
Oh, he fucks her a lot in the third season, trust me.
Exactly. But where the fuck was Grant Dynasty?
I don't know, and it bothered me. It wasn't even mentioned. I'm like,
dude,
how hard is it to add a fucking 4'7" pirate man?
I need my little climby boy. I need my knifer climber. Come on, man.
He's gonna take up. He's small. Come on.
He's at the top of the clock tower waiting for you. Come on. But that was one of the things where I just kept an eye peeled for him the entire time and was so disappointed when he didn't pop up. I know they're going on to the Richter Belmont series.
Richter is
Nocturnal.
My favorite Belmont. I'm very much looking forward to that. Richter, I think, is the most badass Belmont out of all.
It is going to be an absolute fucking banger of a series. I'm here for it, looking forward to it, and I hope that Grant gets an appearance somehow.
I love what they did with Dracula, though. It's good what they did.
Oh, he's so human.
He's so human. Best character, arguably, in the entire series.
A villain you can identify with isn't truly a villain. It's just another character that has had bad cards dealt to them.
Absolutely. All it takes is one bad day, said the Joker.
The Joker, yes. So that was my next entry on. Like I said, I'm working into the list of good. What do you got for us next, man?
I'll give you a good one, too. How about that?
All right.
I absolutely, and I'm going to preface this by saying I have never played a single one of these games, and I should fix that, but, at the same time, as number one on RA, I do not have a lot of time to play modern games. The Witcher. The Witcher on Netflix.
Oh, shit. No, definitely a good modern release.
The Witcher, I'm going to plug him slightly, but I'm going to plug one of my good buddies, Bob, that I do the charity with Herringstone. Friggin', he loves The Witcher, but Bob plays it as a stoned man. He attacks people, he chops them in half and gets their ham sandwiches. That's all he cares about.
Dude.
I love him to death, but, at the same time, it's kind of like a Skyrim-esque game, which is the last probably modern, open world game I invested myself in, 11 years ago when it came out. But I frequent my friend Bob's stream, and he plays it, and he gets such a giggle out of doing everything in it. I love everything that happens in the game. So I was like, all right, The Witcher's coming out. And I'm like, I don't know anything about The Witcher. He's like, what should I watch out for? He's like, he has sex with a lot of redheaded ladies with big tits. I'm like, all
That'll
right,
happen.
I'm there.
That'll happen.
I'm there. And I started watching it on Netflix. I'm like, wow, there sure is a lot of tits in this. This is great.
Yeah, that's a sickness I suffer from as well.
Toss a coin to your breastfed motherfucker.
So, one of the things I love about the TV show especially is that Henry Cavill, the actor for Geralt, did not want to take the role until he played the 3 games until completion and completely understood the lore through and through. He was one of the biggest advocates for making sure that show held true to series lore.
And he fucking did the most immaculate job I can think of. I was not a Witcher fan beforehand because I didn't know anything about it. But I am a Witcher fan now by watching it. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Fucking, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I love it. I'm very disappointed that like something's going on where like he's not going to be able to reprise the role or something.
Yeah, there's talks of him coming back in some capacity now, last I've heard.
I hope so.
Dude, I can't picture anybody else doing it. Why would you even try to continue?
I mean, he was fucking Superman before. If he can pull off Superman, he can pull off anything. God damn it. You know how difficult Superman is to fucking be?
It's fucking
God
Superman.
I'm like, you have to have the perfect hair, the perfect chiseled body. But Gerald, you know, all you need is yellow eyes, white hair, and
this man hasn't touched carbs in 6 months.
All you need to do is fuck hot redheaded chicks. That's it. Can you handle that?
He's got that on lock. Fucking Cavill has that on lock.
I'm sure he does. God
I'm
damn
sure
that
he does.
I hate him so much.
So, keeping it moving, I could talk about fucking Henry Cavill for goddamn ever. Do you have more to add on?
The Witcher was so good because it gave me a point of appreciation for, like, I would watch it, and I would watch things that happened that I seen in Boz stream, but, like, condensed, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I would watch it, and I would be like, oh,
that was that quest.
This is a big, important part, but Boz cut that guy's head off and took his ham sandwich. I didn't know that.
Who's playing the ham sandwich? Yeah, where's the ham sandwich?
I was all about it, you know, but I loved everything about it. I love the lore, I love the music, I love the setting, and like that's very hard for me to get sucked into, and I was immediately sucked into The Witcher. And like that's something I would never usually.
Fantastic.
Like, you're like, hey Max, there's a Tomb Raider show. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, the chick has a ponytail and big tits. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to watch it. Like who cares?
But Henry Cavill has big pecs. I'm in.
He does have a massive chest. I will say that.
It's one of those things, man. It's one of the games that I didn't really get into that much, but the series I ate up like it was just my last meal. My God. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I hope they bring him back for the series. I don't really see it existing.
So you played through the series?
No. I only played like maybe 5 or 6 hours for Witcher 3.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought you played through the whole thing, but like, I never played a single second of it. But I was like, eating it up. I was like, this is great. I'm like, I think I played Witcher 2 for 10 minutes, and then I realized that I needed to switch a silver sword with a regular sword. I'm like, yeah, no, this game's not for me. I'm like, this is too much.
Too much. I mean, that's testament to
There's
it, though.
5 different magic. I'm like, all right, which one's fire? And they're like, oh, it looks like a horseshoe. I'm like,
Igni.
I'm like, I don't know what the hell this shit is. I didn't realize I needed to learn a new language to play this fucking game. I'll just watch the show.
See, and that's kind of testament to it, though, man. Like, neither of us really you didn't put any time into it.
No, none.
I barely put, the digits on one hand into it. And I still was into the show. You were still into the show.
Geralt was great. I loved everything about Henry Cavill. Remember, I liked him as Superman in one of the movies and stuff. I'm like, yeah, he did a great job. But like now he's got like,
Oh yeah.
Now he's like an evil witch man, dude. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And he's piling a whole bunch of naked chicks. This is great.
This is fantastic.
Awesome.
No, so we definitely agree. That is one in the good column, 100%.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm glad.
Yes.
But Castlevania and Witcher back to back.
Oh,
Those are both good.
So keeping it moving. I'm still knocking down my good column in order of that I encountered it, and they're starting to come a little bit more rapid fire. Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
I've not seen that.
Also a Netflix release. Now, I actually haven't played the game. Never touched a single second of it. I saw it got such horrible releases and, it was buggy as all hell.
That's why I never watched it, yeah. But I assume it's good.
I knew it was going to be a kind of crash on impact game, but, I had some time, had a second monitor available, and I figured let's check out the show. Wow. Holds up. Fantastic soundtrack of all things. Great character development. You have people that you would grow attached to that are ripped away. You have people that you would think wouldn't stick around that hold out through the whole series. It really jerks you around on a perspective of narrative. One of those things that, like, whoever developed the show, damn, maybe you should have been hired by the fucking...
Should have taken notes?
Yeah, you should have been hired by the game writing team, because this was the tits. A great series. You said you haven't checked it out. I'm sure you've seen, like, at least some memes, or...
I watched a couple of friends when it first came out, because it was a big deal, Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, yeah.
And they come in, and I just remember they're going into the parlor where the hot chick with tattoos comes out, and she's just like, yeah, okay, I'll do whatever you need and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, I'm cool with this. And then he just like leaves the building and he starts hitting somebody in the head with a fucking baseball bat outside of a trash can. I'm like, okay.
Sounds about par for the course, yeah.
I'm like, yo, you can do this in the modern era. You don't need to be in the future for this.
We got this in fucking the alleys, bout back, man. We're good to go.
This is 2023. If you want to hit somebody in the head with a baseball bat and out in the alley, I'm like, I don't know. Like, this doesn't really seem like the future to me.
I mean, definitely one of those series that the animation style goes a long way. One of the things I kind of want to relate it to, not as a whole, but just in certain segments. There was an anime called Fooly Cooly, or FLCL.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that at all?
My ex-girlfriend was obsessed with Fooly Cooly. Loved it.
So, surprise, I'm your ex-girlfriend.
All right.
It was one of those things
Come here.
where...
Yo, why'd you leave me?
No, so it was one of those things. I watched that series so through and through, but one of the tidbits that really sticks out to me is like a neat piece of information. It was used as a break for the animation team that made Evangelion, and it was one of the few animes that instead of finding music and putting it to the show, they animated it around the music. They already had the pillows pre-selected, which is who did the soundtrack for that. And they animated the show around the musical beats. So that's why everything lands on the notes, lands on the hits. It all syncs up very, very well. I don't believe that Cyberpunk Edge Runners was animated around the music, but they do a fantastic job of finding music that just happens to fit very well.
As close as you can get, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you're not going to animate it to it, this is about as close as you can get. And it gives, in certain scenes, it gives me that same illicit feeling. There's this portion where the main character is meeting up with this girl on the moon. Anybody who's seen the series will know it 100%. And if you go back and watch that, just the soundtrack, it's, oh my god, it clicks like gel.
The best movie in the world is garbage if it has no setting, no sound. You know what I mean? Like it all revolves around the music, the setting, the tone.
The composer is such an underrated aspect of many productions. It's something that I've highlighted in a couple of past episodes just because I feel like it doesn't get enough attention. Just like you said, the composer sets the scene. If you don't have good music, if you don't have good sound, even the best product is a pile of shit.
Imagine playing a Mega Man game. Yo, there is a couple of Mega Man games that just don't have a good soundtrack, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
It doesn't hit. Exactly, it doesn't hit like a Mega Man game should hit.
Nah, it's got to be bopping. It's got to be grooving. It's got to be freaking, it's like, bah, bah, bah. It's got to be like in your fucking face.
So the next Mega Man game I play, I'm just gonna clip that sound out of you doing that and have it in the background and be like, this fucking slaps so hard.
Yo, whenever it gets fucking low energy, but fucking
just like bam, 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 bam. So that's what I had on my list, man. You don't have a lot of experience with the show. I definitely recommend you go check it out at some point.
I'll check it out. There's another show, Arcane.
Yeah, I haven't checked that one out.
Is that Overwatch or is that something else?
League of Legends.
League of Legends. See, like, I don't know a damn thing about these modern games, but I heard that's one of the best shows ever. Like League.
Likewise.
So I should check it out.
I see. I played a lot of League back in my high school days, shortly after high school. Fell out of style with it. I decided to kick heroin. It's not good for you. But
come on back now. Come on back.
Yeah, no shit. Heroin's always here for you. I never got around to watching Arcane, but I never heard anything but good reviews.
Yeah, I heard it was awesome. And, like, it made me want to watch it. I'm like, all right. Like, checked it. I'm like, I don't see no N on this. There's no nudity.
Is it really worth my time?
I'll watch it when I feel like crying. All right. Just like One Piece. I get it.
So it sounds like fucking Arcane isn't going to be next on your list, but what do you have for us?
Give me an option here. Great or dog shit?
Honestly, we've had a couple of home runs here back to back. Let's take us back to fucking humble territory. Give us some dog shit.
I kind of want to bring you back to the era. I mean, it was before your time. It was kind of before my time.
Uh-oh.
There was a Pac-Man cartoon back when I was a child.
Oh, no.
With Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, Pac-Baby, and the four ghosts, Clyde, Pinky, Inky, and Blinky, I think, were the characters. And there was, like, literally no adversary, but I remember the ghosts, like, kind of causing trouble for Pac-Man every day. I'm going to double dip right now and stuff like that. I don't know if this is dog shit, if anybody else is going to get a problem with this. I'm just kind of like trying to let people know that there was a Pac-Man cartoon. There's really not much to say about it because it's crap.
Man, this show doesn't have a fucking face cam, but if it did, you would see my head and my goddamn hands.
I'm looking at you holding your head right now, and you're just like...
Dude, it's on the desk, elbows prop, just like, why is this a thing?
But maybe this will be dissenting right here. I can't remember who does the voice, but this is a very prominent voice actor. Earthworm Jim had a cartoon.
Oh!
I've seen the first episode and that was it, and I thought it had one of the best lines ever. Earthworm Jim came out of his house, looked at his neighbor and said, "Hello, Earthling," or something like that. And the neighbor was like watering his lawn. He said, "Hello, hideous form of mutant nature," or whatever. And that was it. That was like the whole intro. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. I like that. I remember the cartoon. It was like Earthworm Jim. And I've never really watched it. It was like something like my cousin was watching, like, and I'm like, I think it probably had like, like 6 episodes and then like got canned.
I mean, just off that kind of intro it gives me, do you remember The Tick?
Yes. Yo, it was like The Tick. It was like The Tick.
I was going to say, it gives me those kind of vibes, yeah.
Spoon, and
yes,
the Tick lasted a while.
Absolutely.
What I want to say about the Tick, and even though it's not a video, it is a video game, but it was original property. The Tick as something that I liked but never understood and didn't care.
It was before my time.
I just never understood it when it came out.
I would watch it and it went way over my head. I was right there with I knew I was watching something that I wasn't developed enough to get.
I was like, it was like, we're on Fox Kids. I'm like, why?
The fuck you are?
I'm like, why are you teaming up with the X-Men right now?
All right. No, but yeah, Earthworm Jim, same vibe to the Tick, though?
It was definitely the same vibe to the Tick. You know who did Earthworm Jim's voice? The guy who did Homer Simpson.
Holy shit.
Castellana, yeah. He did the voice for Earthworm Jim. He's like, groovy!
All right. No, that's a home run, man. That's a great pick.
But at the same time, it was just like, wow. Like,
was the show pretty dog shit?
Yo, all right. You ready to get in dark territory? You ready to get in real dark territory? Let's talk about pilots.
What's pilot? Oh, the pilot episode. Gotcha.
We're talking about Battletoads.
Oh, no.
And we're talking about Bubsy.
No, there was a Bubsy pilot?
Look it up right now while we're live. Look it up
I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out. Bubsy pilot cartoon.
It exists.
I'm going to jump through here.
Oh, God.
It's animated at like 12 frames a second.
Yep. The Battletoads episode was pretty terrible. It has a groovy theme song. But it was about, like, white teenagers becoming the Battletoads, and I'm like, yo, I thought they were just toads the whole time. I don't get it. But anyway, they're protecting their surf shop and surf snack shack, because everybody in the 90s was a surfer or a skateboarder.
Oh, radical, man.
It was radical, brah. But Bubsy, I really don't have anything too much to say on. All I know is that it received a pilot episode that never reached American audience.
Fucking thank God, because, like, you just committed assault on my eyes through the computer. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, but I need to protect you.
Misery loves company. God damn.
No, I hurt you because I love you.
It was okay. Anybody who's listening though, go check that out. That is, I'm not even joking. 12 frames a second. We're using tween. We're using all that kind of horrible shit. Let's get back to fucking good stuff. Holy fuck.
I want to get to all good stuff because the last thing I have to present is really bad.
Oh no.
It's the worst.
Hit us. Just let's swallow the frog. Just fucking do it. Eat the shit sandwich. Let's go.
You want me to do it?
Do it.
Okay. I have both DVDs of this entire program. It is Street Fighter 2, the animated series. It is the best, worst thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I cannot get enough of it. I remember sitting with roommates, drinking booze and watching it, and just rewinding it several thousand times to believe what we have seen on the screen.
Jesus.
Was able to be animated. Why did it happen like this? I'll show you. I'm going to send you pictures of my 2 collections.
Yeah, I was going to say, admittedly, I have not seen this, and I'm going to need you to tell me why this is such a fucking travesty and affront to man.
The Street Fighter 2 animated series is the worst, best cartoon of all time. If you want to talk about, like, the best adaptation of a video game, possibly the worst of all time.
Oh, my God.
It takes place with Colonel William Guile, the greatest Street Fighter of all time. Ken and Ryu are treasure hunters in the show. Chun-Li, Chun-Li actually has a real job. It's an Interpol agent. But she is also the most beautiful sorcerer woman in the world, or whatever.
Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, why not? Cammy is from England, and she wants to have sex with Guile, and Guile does not want to have sex with Cammy. It's kind of like the reverse
Don't we all?
Link Zelda thing. M. Bison, I can't remember who M. Bison is voiced by, but it's so good. He does such a fucking excellent performance. You really need to, I'm telling everybody out there, not just Time Crush, you need to watch this. There are 2 seasons.
This is something I'm going to have to check out just for the fucking sake of it.
You have to. I would gladly dump some clips into the channel right now. My favorite scene of all time, I can't remember what episode it's from, but Cammy and Guile are in a helicopter, and they're trying to get into a tower that M. Bison is in control of. So they unleash DJ into the tower, and DJ somehow, in 10 frames, becomes every different size while he's... it literally turns from 7 pixels high into 70 pixels high while he's trying to open up a thing, and he goes... This the party that wanted the music. That's his one line. He opens up like whatever. He turns on a speaker that is playing rock music for some reason, which distracts M. Bison's goons. I cannot describe the animation errors in this. Even in the first episode, you can tell that 70 different people animated this.
Jesus.
At different times. Like, it's almost as if the person who was drawing it the day before died and left you off with a different point.
Someone else just had to pick up over. Yeah. Oh my God.
I would go into great detail. I swear to God, I would love to go into great detail, shot by shot with you, like when we go over it. But it is the worst, but also the best show I've ever seen. Because it's so out of context, so terrible.
No rhyme or reason for this fucking travesty.
Ryu, I want to call him Ryu because they call him Ryu in the show. Because,
great.
Because it's American, it's Ryu and Ken are treasure hunters.
Great.
And it's not revealed until the 2nd season that Ken is actually rich and a movie star. So they don't have to go treasure hunting anymore because Ken already has money.
They got money, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's... Guile, T-Hawk actually comes into the episode for 1 second, flies in, and cannot fly again after that ever again. Like, he just flies in once.
Everybody gets one.
Dhalsim is an evil scientist.
Oh, what? No!
And Blanca shows up and electrocutes everybody for no reason. And he goes, okay. Alright, I'm gonna get so mad right now. Chun-Li or Cammy goes up to Blanca when they're at Dhalsim's temple in India and says, "Oh, by the light of the blue moon." And I swear to fucking Christ that Blanca looks at Chun-Li or Cammy, I can't remember, and he says, "Chun-Li, ever the poet."
My God.
And it is the worst line of dialogue I've ever heard in my entire life, and I just wish that I was dead. He's supposed to be like Beast from X-Men, where he's like the intellectual
right,
monster.
A little bit smart. All right.
He's just, most of his lines are like that, where he's like, they're trying to humanize him, but every time they don't try to humanize him, he's like literally killing everybody else on his team.
Insane rage beast,
he's like, rah, rah. It's like the entire first episode is him captured, and he's like, rah, rah, rah. That's his only lines of dialogue. So I'm like, okay, he can't speak English. But in the next
episode, real smart right now there, bud.
In the next episode, he's just like, Guile, we need to go fight Bison. I'm like, all right, you gotta stop. You gotta figure out what you're doing.
Pick a lane. God damn it.
I'm sorry that I went on this huge rampage about this, but I swear to God, Street Fighter 2 is the best and worst, animated series. But you know what you do? You know what you do at the end? As soon as the episode ends, they have an electric car, you go, it's so good. That's the only saving grace of the show. He plays the Street Fighter 2 theme song with electric guitar. That's it.
I mean, after getting that fantastic rendition for you, I don't even think we need to go check it out.
Balrog operates computers with his boxing gloves on. It doesn't work.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're on to good shit now.
I'm sorry. Please finish this off. Please bring us back up. Please bring us back up.
God damn it. We're on. Okay, so I have 2 more entries. How many do you got for us?
I got plenty. I just really wanted to talk. That was my big one, Street Fighter 2.
That was your bomb show.
That was my freaking, like, toss a coin to your guile.
So, I've got 2 more to end on. We're running long nose in the episode. This is going to be a good one, but hey, whatever. Who cares if we approach it?
Sorry, guys. Sorry. You have to listen a little bit longer.
Yeah. Oh, no. Next one I have on my list, I'm sure you've seen it, Last of Us. HBO, Pedro
Yes.
Pascal.
That's on my good list.
Dude, it's a fantastic entry. I only have touch and go experience with the games. I've played them for a few hours here and there, some at like a relative's house, some watching people play, that kind of thing. I have the story under control from the games and how it differs from the series. That being said, I think it was a very gratifying watch. I think it built tension well between the human aspects that you encountered and when the actual infected started to show up. Some of the characters that they chose to take a little bit of liberty on, they had segments at the end of the episode where they interviewed Neil Druckmann and some of the other producers on the show and directors and talked about how they kind of reached a nice middle ground on how to, tell a story that would translate well to television versus game. And I think a lot of those things were done pretty well. The execution came off very, highly praised. I believe it got nominated for a few awards, if not taking home a couple.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously have experience with the series as well.
It was very good. It's what I expected from I'm trying not to catch myself up here and stuff like that. It was just very good. And where I was trying to catch the series, they covered it up. You know what I mean? Like, they did a good job of explaining why they did what they did. I'm just like, I have no issues with this. This is very good.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's kind of like, you're waiting for them to fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly it. There were the couple of points in these handful of episodes throughout that first season where I was like, that kind of felt like a misstep. But in that after-episode recap where they sit down with the directors and producers and Neil Druckmann, really go over why they came to that conclusion, I was like, all right, you got me. You know what? I'm on board now. I understand.
Yo.
It's just because a lot of those story beats don't translate well if they were to tell them verbatim from the game perspective,
We need that for RA. We need developers to have a freaking 10-minute segment where they explain why they did what they did.
Listen.
No, he's like, listen.
Here's the set.
This is why I wanted to do this. Suck it up or suck a dick. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I don't think Neil Druckmann necessarily said that, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We're segueing back and forth between RA. That's what it's about,
So, I'm fast-tracking us. I've got one more. What do you got next for us in the chamber?
I will let you know what I think is the biggest transgression. I'm not talking about Street Fighter 2. I'm talking about what I think is the biggest transgression against video games of all time in cinema history.
Uh-oh.
And you might be fucking confused. Do you have Netflix?
Of course.
I'm letting you know right now. Are you a fan of Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
I love Dragon Warrior.
It's a great game.
I have a conversation once in a while. When somebody brings it up, I go ham on it. There's a movie, the Dragon Quest movie called Dragon Quest Your Story. I think it's...
I see problems.
You see problems?
Is that good? Yeah, with this fucking series. Like, I can't imagine it's going to be adapted well to a Netflix entry.
It is a movie based off of Dragon Quest V, which is one of the stronger entries. It has a lot to do with a father, a son. The son becomes power, the son gets troubled, and the grandchildren have to take over. It's an epic story about, 3 generations working against evil.
And where do we fuck it up? And here's what I'm going to tell you right now. You can watch the movie if you play the game. All right.
Dragon Quest Your Story, and you will love every fucking second of it. It is the pitch perfect
fan service
funny,
show.
Humorous, wonderful fan service adventure. You get married to the right girl, Bianca, because you have the choice in the game, but everybody wants to marry Bianca because she looks like Android 18. She's hot.
It's the right choice.
It's the right choice. She's your childhood friend. And it turns out at the end, and I'm like, I will spoil this because it is horrible. You play, the movie takes place between all 3 generations, where the hero, the child of the hero in the beginning gets petrified, and his children go and save him, later on, like 20 years later when they're adults.
All right.
And they go and fight the last boss, the guy who ruined everything for them.
This still sounds cool.
This sounds great, and it follows the entire game ad verbatim. I'm sitting there, I'm clapping, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, I'm fucking jizzing my pants right now. And then all of a sudden, it glitches out.
No.
And it says, "Oh, well, you're not following the simulation correctly." And it turns out that you're just somebody at a mall playing the game virtual reality style, and it cuts you off. And then the person says, "Don't cut me off. I can defeat this enemy." And it becomes a heroic battle between the mall security guy. I swear to God, it is the best adaptation of a game ever. But the last 10 minutes, like, literally makes me want to kill my entire family.
They shit the bed.
I want to kill my whole family. Like, so they don't exist on the same planet as it. It is the worst 10 minutes of video game history I've ever seen. And I'm sorry for spoiling that for you.
The entire time you were telling the fucking tale, I'm like, this sounds good, this sounds good, this sounds good. Oh, they shit the fucking bed.
And it is. It's actually the best video game adaptation I've ever seen of a game. And then they betray you horrifically in the last 10 minutes, and you're just like...
It's not video game related at all, but it reminds me of endings and poor executions. I do a lot of reading. Stephen King, fantastic author.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God, I love a lot of his books. I've been reading them since fucking early middle school, and like the dude does not know how to end a story, and I'm in the double digits on this motherfucker. And still to this goddamn day, I'll get to like the last eighth of the book and be like, here's where it turns to shit. And it just fucking does. And it feels like that's I don't know, it relates to that, that's the television form where it's like, oh, what a exciting, thrilling journey and dogpile.
All he had to do was finish the story as it actually happened in the game, and that was it. And then we all would have loved it. It would have been the best video game adaptation of all time. Because up until then, I mean, like, it was flawless.
Well, I hate to fucking do it, man. We're running long, but I want to send this out on a high note.
Okay.
The thing is it's a hypothetical high note. Because I can't have had much experience with this yet. I've had a lot of experience with the game series, but as I've detailed, I've told all these entries in the order that I've come across them, and I cannot have come across this any more than I have. Coming out in late July 27th, is the Twisted Metal series.
Oh.
Yes. Now, a game entry that has a lot of love. You would be, begged to ask, how do you convert this into a television show? It has a couple of the writers behind it that give me a lot of faith. People who have participated in Zombieland, people who have participated in Deadpool. So we have that slapstick humor. I've seen a couple clips.
Yep.
Sweet Tooth, the iconic
Sweet
character.
Tooth, Thong, yeah.
Yes, voiced by Will Arnett. The actual character is played by this wrestler named Samoa Joe. Dude!
So Will Arnett is doing the voice and Samoa Joe is just doing the body language?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, so Will Arnett's doing all like the comedic timing and shit on that, but Samoa Joe is really throwing in like the choreography and the acting behind it, and if you go back and watch that clip, you really see it bleed through. That is no part and parcel to why I think this is going to be a strong series. You don't have a ton of story for this. As it runs in the games through all the different series, the general rule of thumb is, it's a car mayhem tournament. You're fighting to earn one single wish from the guy who threw the tournament, Calypso. We have no idea if Calypso is a figure in this Twisted Metal thing. As far as they've given us, it's just an apocalyptic wasteland where cars seem to be the predominant form of weaponry and transportation.
All I've seen was them fighting in the casino, and I'm just like, he's like, I don't need no car to kick your ass. I'm like, well, that's good, because I ain't seen no cars yet.
There is one clip that they released before that, where there is some car combat, which is pretty promising. But with it coming out, within the end of July here, I couldn't be more ready for it, and I think that's going to be, just like we've seen with Castlevania, Cyberpunk, and Last of Us, I think this is... We're into a new era. A lot of the ones we led with earlier in the show, they were, entries of their time. The late 80s, the early 90s, they were still getting their feet under them. They didn't know how to work with the media together. They didn't know how to run where other people were already sprinting, and so they stumbled. But now we're finally getting a grip on things, finally figuring out how to participate in this race. And these last few entries, they give me hope for what the future holds.
I agree, 1,000%. It's a lot different than Captain Lou Albano telling us not to do drugs. Or you go to hell before you die.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Samoa Joe getting up here telling us the more you know message.
No, he's better. Yeah, go ahead, do whatever drugs you want, man.
Yeah, so drugs are fucking great. That being said, Max, wrapping it up here, man. Anything you want to send us home with? Any final thoughts? Anything that we covered today, or you want to address on? What do you want to wrap us up with, man?
I want to let you guys know that I freaking love having you hang out here. I believe this is going to, if I can say, this is the first episode of the second season, correct?
Yeah, we're kicking off a new season of the Retro Achievements Podcast. Oh, you better believe it.
A new season with this one. That's pretty dope. I'm honored to be here, and I hope you guys keep on tuning in, whether I'm here or not. I want you to hang out with TC every goddamn fucking week that he's doing this, because he's always gonna have prominent fucking members of the RA society here.
Too damn nice.
At the same time, I want to let you know you gotta watch the fucking goddamn Street Fighter cartoon. I can't. You need to watch it right now, and if you don't, you go to hell before you die, motherfucker.
You go to hell. I mean, it's fantastic. Thank you for the compliments, man. I couldn't be more pleased to have you aboard. I hope the community likes what we have in store for you guys. Like I said, we
always have fun. You and me, we always have fun, man.
Oh, dude, it's a great fucking time. We're getting back to our 2-week release schedule. We're going to have more consistency back in regular release episodes. Hoping for more community segments. I'd like to end future episodes maybe with some trivia or a more interactive segment. I'd like to get back to our podcast play-along, but something a little bit more orchestrated instead of the Star Wars Dark Forces where I just kind of pick it out of the pocket. Maybe something that we all agree on that's a little bit fun and more participatory. That being said, guys, always a thrill to have you aboard. Thank you for listening. RetroAchievementsPodcast@gmail.com for all that listener mail for a chance to get read out. Glad to have you, and we will see you next time.
Adios.